So I think we can begin. Right. For all the students who've just joined in, I wish you all a very good evening. On behalf of Team upGrad, we would like to welcome all of you to the webinar based on studying in Canada at a very affordable cost. Just to sort of set forth the context, at upGrad, we're really working religiously on making higher education abroad more affordable, more accessible, more democratized, and extremely vocationalized, as in you can pursue the majors of your choice sitting. So you start the degree sitting at your home, you then move to the campus to capstone your entire learning in the majors of your choice. So you sort of pursue the general first or the first 2 years on upgrad.com, and then you finish, you stack up all the learning to finally complete and receive the degree from university partners in Canada and across the world. This program that we're working on is called the Bachelor Articulation Degree Model, and we've got some of the best universities in the world who have been fully functional and helping us run this model. One of our esteemed university partners is called Yorkville. Yorkville is based in Canada. We've got two esteemed partners, Deepak and Ms. Cole, who've joined us on the webinar. Please join me in welcoming both of them. And I think Ms. Cole is going to take forward from here everything you need to know about studying in Canada, and what does Yorkville actually sort of stand for as their campus values, what is it that they have for you, how is the experience in Canada going to look like, and on what model are they willing to work with us to make sure that more and more students across India can now afford to study Canada and also sort of enjoy all the post-study work opportunities that are regularly given to any standard student who finishes all 4 years on campus at almost half the cost. Ms. Cole, you may take it from here.
Thank you so much, Praneet, for that wonderful introduction, and really a pleasure to be here today, sharing some insights about our university with all of the students attending this session. So hello and welcome everybody joining us. My name is Ina Kaul Sharma. I am the Regional Director for International Recruitment at the Yorkville University. In the meanwhile, just to kind of tell you what today holds, what this presentation is all about, it is really just about taking you all through into a journey at Yorkville University. So it's going to be a little bit about introducing our school, our BBA program, because that is the partnership and the pathway we have currently with upGrad for Geneva University and many others, I suppose, in the future as well. And how can you sort of get into this pathway and then come to join us here at Yorkville University. So then let us get started. So Yorkville University, as you can see here, it really clearly sort of the mission is here. It is all about you. It is your path, it is your purpose, and hence it is your university. And that is something, it's as simple as it is at Yorkville University. Everything that we offer, all the programs that we offer here, they are here or designed in a way to help you achieve your personal and professional goals. So it can be anything that you want to achieve in your life. Here's a little, okay, now let me just quickly talk to you about the Bachelor Business Administration program, because that is the pathway program that you're looking into at this point in time to get to us at Yorkville University. So the program, now this is, keep in mind, this is the generic program highlights that we have for somebody who wish to do the entire program with us. A lot of it is going to be same, but a lot of this might even change in this pathway setting. So the program highlights is that we have an accelerated BBA, or the Bachelor of Business Administration program at Yorkville University. In fact, most of our programs are accelerated, which basically means that you're able to get the same so basically the same equivalency of a 4-year degree in Canada, but in a much lesser time with Yorkville University. And we have many specializations under the BBA program as well, which is very interesting because if somebody was to look at the business side of things, but within energy management, within accounting, within supply chain, and you are able to pick from many of our specializations within the BBA program, within the big shell of BBA. And like I mentioned, this program is offered both at the Toronto as well as the Vancouver campus. We have 4 intakes every year, so every 3 months, as you can see, Jan, April, July, and October. And we have, I think I covered pretty much. Yeah, so here are the specializations that we have. So we have under BBA, the project management, which is kind of very popular among a lot of our students who come to us from India. We have accounting, again, another good opportunity. Sorry about that. Supply chain management, energy management, and then there's the general BBA as well. This is just a little bit in terms of the course highlights among each of these specializations. And also it mentions here which campus that specialization is available, because not all specializations are offered in both our Toronto and Vancouver campus. So for instance, the project management, which is one of the more popular ones, like I mentioned, is offered in both campuses, Toronto and Vancouver, as you can see over here. And here's just a little bit about the basic areas that you will be covering in this specialization. And then there's supply chain, which is huge again in Canada, but that is only, as you can see, offered in our Vancouver campus. And logistics management, supply chain integration, analytics, those are the core sort of subjects that you'll be looking at. Again, our general BBA, which is only in Vancouver, and the highlights underneath that. Same for accounting and energy management. All of them are available only at our Vancouver, the newest campus in New Westminster in Vancouver. Now, it's important, again, for me to highlight here that when you come to Canada, or when, for that matter, go to any country to study a specific subject, you want to also understand that is that subject designed in a way that it aligns with or is accredited with all of the professional designations that you need to showcase to an employer. And that is a big thing in Canada. And I don't think a lot of people pay attention to that, because when you actually start looking for a job, because I have so many people who come to Canada, with different streams now, through we are studying, we have PR, which is the permanent residence. I keep noticing that they don't have the right designations for them to even be considered for certain roles. Let's say something in chartered accountancy or something in project management. They need a PMI, specialization. Now, all of these things are already taken care of for each of our BBA specialization here at York University. Before I go further, I just wanted to, with like a thumbs up or some sort of reaction, that am I audible? Because I know I was cutting off in the middle. Is that good? Okay, great. So they are going to offer you, everything from resume writing workshops to how to prepare for an interview, to give you labor market information so that you know and you're well prepped for what kind of opportunities currently exist and where you should go looking. We have job boards. We have a lot of self-help resources for you. And we are, of course, when things get a little bit better, looking at doing multiple career fairs and a lot of networking sessions for our students. And all of that is the team of career support services who will be helping you through and through. What I also wanted to say that, we are very cognizant of the fact that, things are changing really fast. So with the pandemic, we've also noticed that, the job searching requirements or skills have changed. It is no more the same things that would, work for you prior to let's say March 2020. And so during this time, our team has ensured that, we have strategized and prepared our students for this change. And, while staying engaged and hopeful, for their futures, because sometimes it can get like a little bit, scary that will I really, with things changing, is there anything that I have to worry about?
Hello everyone, my name is Deepak Mehta. I take care of Liverpool University in South Asia, and I support Ina and the entire team in South Asia with all the recruitment activities. So basically, I'm going to cover what are the admission requirements and the program checklist for Liverpool University. So basically, the slide that you basically see on your screen right now are the requirements for the student who start afresh, basically after grade 12. And I know and believe that there are so many students right now who have just finished or are on the verge of getting their grade 12 results. So I think this slide should be really useful for them. So we require a copy of a valid passport, a front and a back clear scanned copy of the passport. Then we require your 10th and 12th official board transcripts. And let me tell you, we pretty much accept all the boards. So whether it is CBSE or you've done state board like Punjab board, Haryana board. In fact, we also accept 10 plus 3 years of education. So a lot of students have done diploma after grade 10th, which is in civil engineering or probably mechanical engineering or electrical engineering. So if you have any academic standing which is equivalent to grade 12th, you can apply to Yorkville University. Then we also require English proficiency test results, which could be either IELTS, PTE or TOEFL. IELTS, our requirement is overall 6. We accept to section 5.5. But from the visa standpoint of view, I would suggest that ideally students should try and get 6 with 6 because the visa success rate is higher with that. Pearson test of English, we accept 47 or above, and then we accept TOEFL, which is 70 or above. If you're applying for Bachelor of Interior Design, then we also require resume or statement of interest. But if you're only applying for BBA, then this is not required. If you already have a visa or a study permit for Canada, then we would request you to include that as a part of your application to Yorkville University. So we know that you already have the visa. And last but not the least, if you've not done a Chandigarh University program, like Ina already mentioned, the credit transfers mapping with Chandigarh University program has already been done. So that's an easy process. But if you have a post-secondary education with another institution or a university, probably a 2 years or any undergraduate diploma related to business, and if you're trying to do a credit transfers, then we require the syllabus and the transcripts from that particular school so that we can map what you have studied there to what we teach in our BBA program. If there's a map, like if there's a match and you have like 70% match, and if you have C grade or above in those subjects, then we will transfer those credits. So the total duration of the program will come down, and so will be the fee structure. So that's an added advantage for all our students. Last but not the least, I just wanted to add that especially for upgrad students, we have waived the application fee, and our processing time is really, really fast. Usually we take 3 to 5 days for a fresh student, someone who's like recently completed grade 12th and are trying to start, and someone who's applying with the credit transfers, then it can take up to a week or 2 weeks time. So which is like really fast processing time. So I think that's that. If there are any other questions, I would be more than happy to take those questions, and probably in our Q&A round.
Absolutely. So I'd like to thank the two of you for trying to brief about the university, the culture, the methodology used to teach. I think that should have been able to sort of convince and affirm to everybody here about how can Yorkville University actually help accelerate the outcome that these students are looking for, ideally in a most cost-effective manner, right? So one thing I'd like to highlight to sort of build upon what Ms. Kaul and Deepak have been mentioning is that when you sign up with upGrad and CU for your pathway to Yorkville, you just need your 12th and 10th transcript for you to enroll yourself for the first and the second year of BBA track at CU. When you finally transfer on campus to Yorkville, we will need your IELTS result, and you will have to clear the necessary course credits for year 1 and year 2 for you to be able to confirm your admission to Yorkville, right? Again, to sort of repeat how the cost structure works, because most of you have been asking online as to how does the cost structure work. So the first year with upGrad and CU online is going to cost 2.5 lakhs, which includes the curriculum for year 1, semester 1, semester 2, your IELTS training, and includes the study abroad module where we teach academic writing, academic referencing, research methodology, academic integrity, all of the courses that make you stand at the same ground and same level to a standard Yorkville student who goes to the campus from year 1. So to bring you both at the same amount of academic skills We also cover a study abroad module where we also try to teach you about how to find part-time opportunities, how do you network on LinkedIn, how do you sort of navigate life at Yorkville campus. So all of that is going to be covered in year 1. Year 2 fee is going to be 1.5 lakhs, and year 3 and year 4 are going to be as per the Yorkville fee structure based on the per credit amount multiplied by the total credits that you are going to be pursuing. So Deepak, I hope I have answered on your behalf, as in how does the costing really work? Yes. So now I'm going to take some of the questions on the Q&A button. Ms. Gupta has asked if what is a good course after grade 12th in commerce stream if we don't want to enroll in BBA. So I will answer on the team's behalf. So every university in Canada can either have BCom or BBA, and Deepak can sort of brief you a little more about that.
Thanks, Praneeth, for that question. My recommendation would be that after doing commerce in grade 12th, I think the best option would be BBA. The best part about Yorkville University is, like Ina mentioned in one of her slides, is we have so many options when it comes to specialization. So we at our Vancouver campus, we basically have project management, which leads to a professional designation of PMP certification, and it is again PMI accredited. Then if we talk about supply chain management, it is also accredited by professional of supply chain management professionals. Not only that, we have accounting, which is again accredited by Chartered Professional Accountants of Canada. So like in India, a lot of students do BCom simultaneously, they pursue CA. In Canada, you can start with your CPA while you're doing your BBA in accounting. And it is also accredited by Canadian Payroll Association. So tomorrow, in case if you want to open up your own accounting firm, I think then accounting is probably your best choice. Other than that, we also have one very unique specialization, which I don't believe I've hardly seen that specialization being offered by other schools, universities or colleges in Canada, which is energy management. The best part about our energy management program is that it is recognized by Fortis BC, which is one of the largest producers of energy and electricity across British Columbia. And some of our students have also gotten into provincial government job after doing that program. Now, still, if you're a student, you're not sure which program to get into, probably which specialization to take, then my suggestion would be that, start your program, because, usually when you're starting, you study some common subjects under BBA. And, let's assume that you picked up supply chain management when you started the program. And tomorrow, if you want to change your specialization to another specialization, because specialization basically are the last five subjects of the program. So you can still do so depending upon your interest area. So that's that.
Right, Deepak. On behalf of the students and myself, so just to make it clear for every student here, whether they do a BCom in Canada with majors in accounting or they do a BBA with the same majors, it will not be different, right? Yes?
Absolutely. It won't. It's just the terminologies, how they are used. In India, it is more commonly called as BCom. And now a lot of private universities have BBA program as well. A BBA in Canada is quite similar. The best advantage, Praneeth, is that our BBA program is equivalent to a 4-year degree program across Canada. And when the student apply for the permanent residence, they get full credit points of a 4-year degree for the PR application. But they can actually fast track and finish it off faster. In fact, someone who's starting it from scratch, they can actually finish it off in as few as 2.5 years instead of taking complete 4 years. And they still get a postgraduate work permit for up to 3 years. So all the benefits of a 4-year degree, but they're fast tracking it, finishing it off, getting the professional designation, and they're getting to study in the top 2 largest cities of Canada, which is Toronto, Vancouver. That's, I know most students wants to go to either one of these locations.
Absolutely. So the next one for us is, what are the advantages of studying in Canada as a country, as in what are the opportunities they're going to be exposed to right after they become a business graduate from Yorkville?
I don't know. I can probably start, and then I'm going to have Deepak add in and chime in, his inputs as well. Now, I'm going to say this mostly from an experiential point of view, because as someone who's also lived in India and then now lives in Canada and resides here, I feel that in terms of opportunities, whether it is entrepreneurial opportunities or fear of that mindset, I think there is so much out there for students like yourselves. And just armed with the right qualifications, armed with the right networking, armed with the right people to guide you, if you have those brilliant ideas, as I know most of you do, you can really do that while you're studying. You can do that while you're working. That's one thing. The entrepreneurial mindset here of students, people in your age group is tremendous, and people are constantly sort of looking at creating the next big thing, right? We also have an amazing, so where Deepak basically also is working for Apply Board. It's a fantastic, Deepak can talk more about it later, but it's a I would say edtech company largely that is based off in Kitchener-Waterloo, which is another area that's up and coming for students looking to grab these opportunities, these startups, in culture that is really big. So that's tremendous opportunities on that front. Any which way we are known for an entrepreneurial spirit. Most people over here are working and doing something on the side, and so so you kind of get to meet those people and learn from them as well. I love the fact that it's really sort of also aside of that, it's such a safe country, it's such a safe or other high quality of life that you get over here. So it kind of sets the tone for you to be able to achieve a lot of things, because you don't have to worry too much about other things. The quality of life is high. Everything is so easily available. So you can really put in that much time to just concentrate on creating the best life for yourself, whether it's professionally or personally. We have one of the, also just to kind of add other things, not necessarily in terms of a career opportunity wise, also our economy, even Canadian economy now, in terms of the other G7 countries, we are really leading in terms of the economic growth. We have continued to do so and really support us, our permanent residents and citizens through this pandemic, which not many countries have been able to do. People who lost their jobs, students who couldn't study anymore, who were just left nowhere, had a lot of financial support that the government was able to give them. Whether it's the vaccination that is going on drive, it's abundant. There is no scarcity. All of those things, and the multicultural. What I love the most is that at least cities like Toronto and Vancouver, you're looking at really meeting a lot of people from all different parts of the world. So you're able to hear those, that lingo, that not lingo, but like the language that, that you're perhaps, used to listening to. So from, in a lot of Indian, I guess, students are here now, and we have students from across the globe now, South America, Latin America, wherever, China, Japan, Korea. I love that. So everything is celebrated in Canada. So if you ever feel that, oh my goodness, do I go there and will I feel lost? You wouldn't. In fact, all the more you'll make friends from across the globe, and you'll be celebrating your traditions and festivals and things together. And of course, creating that pathway that you're here for, that career that you're here for. So that's just long and short of basis my own experience here. But I'm sure Deepak, as always, has very pragmatic and practical examples. So I'm gonna ask him to also weigh in a little bit.
No, I think, Ina, you've pretty much covered everything, but I know that especially when the students are from India or probably the South Asia part of the world, they travel to Canada, their main aim of going to Canada, again, like you beautifully mentioned, that it is multicultural. So, they want to upgrade their standard of living, get that quality of life. So Canada is one country which welcomes people with open arms from all over the world. And I think that is one thing which is best about Canada. So the postgraduate work permit opportunities, the work opportunities, so many opportunities in Canada right now. The best part is, again, like Hina mentioned, you get the best of both worlds. So because there's a huge community of Indian people, so you don't at the same time miss India. Plus, you also get to connect with other traditions, cultures, people. Like when you meet with people from all over the world and get to know different things. So yeah, that's that.
Right, Deepak. The next one is that they want to know more about the scholarships that York will would extend to students who are meritoriously bright.
So, Praneeth, we do have scholarships, and thank you so much again for asking that question. That's a very, very important question, especially when the student plans to study abroad. And honestly speaking, York University is known to put their students first. During the time of pandemic, also, we've tried our level best to help students the best way possible by, donating funds, extending scholarship, bursaries, and doing whatever possible stuff we could actually do. So at the moment, we have $10,000 worth in bursary or scholarship. Now, $10,000 scholarship is given to the student who actually start from again at the very beginning and complete the entire degree program in Canada. Talking about our BBA program, it is a 120 credit program, and our partnership with upGrad, basically with talking specifically about that, we're expecting students to finish at least 50% of the program here in India, which is about 60 credits. So that $10,000 scholarship ideally should be prorated. So if someone gets 10,000 from the very beginning, they would get 50%, like if they're finishing 50% of the course here. So they can get scholarship of a minimum 5,000, and it can go up to 10,000 depending upon how many credits they finish in India.
Absolutely right, Deepak. And so the next one is, what is the cost of living like when you move to Vancouver campus or when you move to your campus in Ontario? What is the cost of living going to be like, and if it's going to be different for both the campuses?
Ina, would you like to take this up since you have first hand? And I will add at the end, probably, from my experience.
Perfect. Yeah, we could do that. It's hard to quote a very, I would say even in a range, I find it's hard to quote that most times, but I'll give you a general average anyway, because I think it all really depends on your personal lifestyle choices. Are you willing to share an accommodation with another person when you get here? By the way, that is, I think, a fantastic option, one that you get to know other people, other students who are here in a similar situation, and you can save a lot of money. Then again, there are people who might want to have an en-suite sort of an accommodation and everything to themselves. The other thing I want to, before I get to like numbers and everything, what I want to say, the living costs really are the largest. I would say the biggest one would be living, and then would be like, things like travel and food and other things, and cell phone bills, which is also very high, by the way, in Canada, wherever you go. We typically have like I'm happy to even share that later, how that works, but I have a detailed listing of, broken down costs for each of these heads. So just remember that when it comes to accommodation, don't worry too much. It is a little bit higher, whether it's Vancouver, whether it's Toronto. These are basically, the top cities in Canada. So you are willing to pay that little bit of a, additional premium to be here, because then you also get all of the opportunities, and the job opportunity and networking that you get is, you can't compare that with any other city, unfortunately, at this point. And so, yeah, so now whether you're looking at accommodation, you could start with a basement sort of accommodation, which is the cheapest in my mind, so somewhere around 1,100, 1,200 per month is what you're looking at. That sort of an accommodation. Now you can find those basement options in downtown Toronto or around, and you can find it in Greater Toronto or Greater Vancouver area as well. And then again, this can be broken down and two people can be sharing. I've seen a lot of students do that. Then if you move up, then you have condos, you have what you call apartments, referred to as apartments in India. Now those again are 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms. If you wanted to do let's say like a 1 bedroom or a studio apartment, you're looking at anywhere from 1,500 to maybe even 1,700 per month. So that's how it kind of starts with. And again, this I guess cannot be shared. So that's what you're looking at. But then if you go to a bigger condo, which let's say is $2,000 a month, you can do 1,000 each for two people living in it. So, it's almost from 1,000 to 2,000 anywhere, depending on your lifestyle and choice that you make for living. And then things like travel, I wouldn't worry too much, because as students, you have a lot of privileges in terms of a kind of travel cards that you can get with, at least for Toronto, it's TTC, that runs across the city. It has buses, trains, trams, everything, all kinds of transport. And typically in 2 hours, one way, no matter how many rides you change, you don't get charged. And you can get a card, for $100, which covers like a long period of time. So you can make X amount of trips with that. So you have those options. So initially you wouldn't be buying a car, I would imagine. So that is something that you're looking at. Ubers are very expensive. I would say, keep it for only rainy days and when you really, really need to take one. And then best is find an accommodation close to your campus. You can just walk it. It's the best thing to do. It's a city. It's a pedestrian lifestyle. People are walking everywhere, whether it is -15 or whether it is like sunny as it is right now, 30 degrees or up. It's the best thing to do. It's safe. There is proper areas for you to walk in this. I wouldn't worry about it. And the other thing is your, like food and other sort of expenses, which really just depends on how many Starbucks a day. Or are you going to make your own coffee, or are you going to just cook, with a friend of yours, or are you going to just order things outside? So I would really say that, in a month, it can really be from like a 5,000 to a 10,000. It really depends on the consumption and how you do that. As a student, there are multiple options for you to create meals, which can be, given to you at your place of residence, and it's not that expensive for you to, create that scenario for yourself. And then there is a phone, for you to get a phone here or a net connection here. Those are expensive here. So it's about $50 to $80 depending on what plan. So that's something you want to keep in mind monthly for yourself in a city like Toronto. So overall, guys, what I'm trying to get to is that you're looking at anywhere 15 to 20-ish range for just your living for 1 year in a city like Toronto, or for that matter, Vancouver. Yeah, I think that's from my end.
This is wanted to add here to make it more simple for students. While you're studying on campus, when you're not on a break, you normally are entitled to work for 20 hours a week. And when you're on a break from the campus, you can work for 40 hours a week. That would necessarily entail that you can very well cover your living expenses while you're studying at Yorkville. I think Deepak has the right figure and the method to show you how. I have been through it once, and that definitely helps every student. So I'd request Deepak to sort of show us his calci and sort of run that quick mathematic.
Sure, definitely, Praneeth. I would love to do that, and thank you so much for covering. I was about to cover that last part, where I wanted to say the same thing, that you can actually work 20 hours or 40 hours a week when you're on a break, and you can. So if I am a student, I wouldn't worry about covering the living expenses. Plus, like Ina correctly mentioned, it all depends upon your lifestyle. How lavish you want to live, and how, like, what is your budget basically. If you have a small pocket and if you don't want to spend so much, then honestly speaking, I've seen even 4 or 5 people also sharing an accommodation. That drastically brings that cost down, and have personally spoken with students who just getting like living at a cost of about $700, even $800 for that matter. Again, depends upon how many people are sharing that basement or condo or apartment, or again, if you have funds, then and so it all comes to the affordability factor. I will quickly pull out that slide, since Praneeth, you've asked me to talk about the cost and all. So even I'm assuming that the student coming from upGrad would only finish 50% of the program on campus, which is like out of 120 credits, they would only be doing 60 credits. And our total cost of BBA right now is about $60,000, 59,000 some change. And if let's assume that they get a scholarship of $5,000. So first of all, 50% of the course fee for 120 credits, if it is about 60,000, then for 60 credits, it would be about $30,000. And that is inclusive of the scholarship, basically, the bursary amount. And assuming that the students can actually work part-time for 20 hours a week, and assuming that those 60 credits will be completed over a period of 2 years, that means the student would probably have full 2 years to complete those 60 credits. So 1 year has 52 weeks, and if they're in Canada, studying for those, completing those 2 years there after finishing 2 years in India, that means they will be enrolled in the program for about 104 weeks. I'm just multiplying 52 by 2. Like if 1 year has 52 weeks, 2 year would have 52 by 2, which is 104 weeks. And going by the calculation, let's assume that they're working part-time throughout that period of 104 weeks. They will be working for about 2080 hours, 2080 hours during those 2 years. And let's assume the average wage rate is about 14-15, depending upon, again, province to provinces. So assuming that, they would probably earn about, let's take $15 on a higher note and multiply that by 2080 hours, 2080 hours, they would easily make about $31,200 approximately. And again, Praneeth, these are just approximate figures, and this is nowhere it is mentioned that they would actually get that kind of a money. So I'm not gonna say that you will. It all depends upon the situation, whether you're working 20 hours throughout your program, and just a rough estimate calculation of, in case if you were to work throughout the period of your education, then this is how much approximately you can make legally by just working those hours. And chances are you would have recovered all your tuition by the time you would have finished the remaining part of your degree in Canada. And I mean, I think this probably could be the best thing, finishing 2 years, saving money, paying in Indian rupees, and saving that dollars cost of at least the first 2 years. And when you're going there also you're getting a chance to work. In fact, again, I'll just quickly take 2 minutes, and I wanted to share one life experience of one of my students. So this student is Nikhil Jain from Ludhiana. Again, struggling, wanting to come to Yorkville University, and I'm still in touch with him. He often calls me whenever I travel to Canada. Usually we keep in touch. Now, this student is so happy and pleased to come to Yorkville University, and he got so lucky that he got a part-time job with a company called FedEx, which is one of a very popular company, courier services across the world. And FedEx, actually, his contract with FedEx says that, if he maintains X percentage of attendance and X percentage in his assignments, I don't exactly know what percentage is that. I believe it is 80 or 85% or above. Then they would not only give him minimum wages that he's entitled to get, but they would also reimburse 50% of his tuition fee. And upon graduating, they have also offered him to join full-time after the completion of the program. So these are the kind of opportunities, the students actually get when they're in Canada. Now, again, it completely depends from student to student that how much effort are they willing to put in, how well they do in their program, are they attending school, are they maintaining good grades, are they doing whatever they're supposed to be, ideally they should be doing. So I think, again, you can very easily cover that cost.
Right, Deepak, absolutely. So Vineet wants to know, where is the Yorkville University in Toronto located?
Yes. So Vineet, we have 2 campuses here, depending on the program that you're going to be studying with us. So we have one in close to one. I'm not sure if you're familiar. It is in Toronto and very close to York University, if that helps in any which way. Our campuses are very close, and we are in that one area. The PDC literally drops you in front of the campus. The bus that you just have to cross the road, and it's that well located. So if you're coming from downtown Toronto, you're taking about 20 minutes to get on campus if you're taking the train. And then we have another new campus. Well, technically not as new anymore. We launched it for the BCA program, which is also a fantastic program at Yorkville University for anybody interested. And that is in heart of the city in downtown Toronto on Yonge and Dundas. So both prime locations.
Right, Ms. Kaul. Then there's somebody who wants to know, so Mr. Chasmawala wants to know, what is the average median salary of a Yorkville business grad or a general graduate in Canada who studied BBA? And if it's any different for a general BBA holder or a BBA holder with the specific majors?
So I would much rather have somebody from the careers team come in and weigh in on this one. But from just my understanding, and it can vary. Like for instance, people just quoted a beautiful example, and we have many such examples coming up on the daily. So he may not have that median salary immediately, but he has an amazing contract already there if he was able to maintain the clauses that is on his contract, which is basically just doing well on his studies, right? Which is simple. So something like that can happen, but typically a median for anybody who's looking at like after, let's say a project management, that's sort of a degree which is in demand where there's a lot of opportunity anyway. I'm just talking about Toronto right now, not getting into the specializations in Vancouver because it all depends. Any which way a median salary roughly should be around $50,000 yearly for such students, depending on the kind of opportunity you've got and the level that you've gotten in. But typically you're looking at 40 to 50, I would imagine. It can be a little bit higher for the PMI and the PMP accreditations that we have, even with energy management, because that is a very unique sort of a degree, and they need a lot of people to do that, and there's not a lot out there. Similarly for accounting, which is huge, and so it all really depends, but I would not quote anything further, but I'm just going to give you a very average figure of about 40 to 50 at a decent organization, at a decent entry level position is what you can aim at, and the sky's the limit. So yeah,
absolutely. I think that should definitely help. I think we've almost answered every question except one. So somebody did here ask me that they're a graduate of 1920 and would like to begin in September 22. Of course, you can do that. You can start anytime as per the trimester intakes for Yorkville. But I think what I'd like to sort of mention here is the basic objective of the hybrid degree with Yorkville and CU that upGrad facilitates is that you can start in September 2021 itself. You don't need to take a gap here because you're not going to be traveling to campus right when you begin or commence your degree. You're actually going to be studying on upgrad.com for the first 2 years, and you will complete, like Deepak and Ms. Kaul have been mentioning, 60 credits for your BBA track. For the first 2 years on upgrad.com, entirely online. We have a very rigorous module designed for you. It is very robust in its very nature and includes every component of your learning experience duly attended to. Post those 2 years, you can actually transfer to campus on at Yorkville, which then entails that you will have to travel to Canada, which is when we need your IELTS result and everything else that you normally need to travel abroad. Until then, I think to sort of keep you away from taking a gap year is why we're doing this. And I would like to thank Yorkville because they are one of the esteemed partners of upGrad in pioneering this unique breakthrough model that we've been able to achieve. And also there was somebody who asked us if they can study even if they move to the US. Yes, we have tried to make sure that we keep it as accessible as we can. So for the first 2 years, you can actually access upgrad.com's platform completely online anywhere in the world. That would still allow you to go to Yorkville in the third year, right? So I hope Ms. Kaul and Deepak, I have answered that for you guys. If there's anything you want to add, I'm sure you can.
I think I'm going to take exactly less than even a minute just to thank upGrad, because I think for those of you who are still with us, we've had a lot of such partnerships in the past, and I've always feel, and I think Deepak might also perhaps agree, that we haven't seen students getting a lot of support in the whole process of applying to, let's say, the home university, whichever that it might be, and then how to really even transfer into the eventual destination, which is your overseas choice, right? So in this case, what I really love, and I think Praneeth also mentioned, they have special modules that prepare you to, level up before you even get here, how to apply for the visa, how to even prepare for the IELTS. They have multiple points of contact for you. So through and through, whether it is from the upGrad end, and then once you really do come to apply to apply to Yorkville University via, Deepak and his team, there is so much support that is unbelievable, and you must take, you must really, really utilize this. And I don't see that happening often. I'm saying this with experience. So guys, there's a lot I can see already on upGrad's website that gives you all the information that we've already shared with you. And I just see one question. It's bothering me because we didn't answer that. It's Shraddha. We wouldn't recommend Duolingo at this point in time. Let's go with the option that Deepak mentioned, which is the IELTS, which is your TOEFL and the PTE, to ensure that, visa and other such things don't become an issue later, because it is not something that they prefer. With that, that's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, so we just got one quick question. So how can I get the scholarship? Is there any pre-designed criteria that the student has to meet to get the scholarship, Deepak?
Praneeth, scholarship is, so the application is automatically considered for the scholarship. We don't require any other application for scholarship. And when the student gets the offer letter, the bursary is mentioned in the offer letter. The fee breakup and the bursary is clearly mentioned in the offer letter.
Absolutely. So now, in case if there's any student who's accessing upgrad.com from any other part of the world, will they, so supposedly if they're studying in the US, so there is a question specifically for the US, if they're studying in the US, would they still need an IELTS report card or a result for them to transfer to campus at Yorkville?
Yes, we would still, Praneeth, require IELTS result or any other English proficiency test. The only exception is if they've studied in an English-speaking country. If they're still doing an upgrad course in US, I believe that they would still require IELTS. However, if they have studied completely in a foreign university, which is like an English-speaking country, and if they have at least 3 years of education in English, then maybe we can consider that as an exception. But we need to, of course, escalate all those cases with our admissions team so that we can look at those cases. And we would also require a letter from the school stating that their last 3 years of education was in English. The medium of instruction was English, but those are only very, very few exceptions. I would strongly recommend either IELTS, PTE or TOEFL if they have to apply for the Canadian study visa, so that their visa application becomes strong.
Absolutely. So on behalf of the entire team, I'd love to sort of extend my gratitude to Deepak and Ms. Kaul. It has been an absolute pleasure for me to host you two. And I am super sure and certain that you have played an influential role in making sure that students now realize how does the hybrid degree program with upGrad and York will actually accelerate the outcomes that they're wanting to achieve, not in just terms of the post-study work visa, but also, like you guys mentioned, how does York will actually enable them to accelerate the completion of the degree and yet get an access to the standard opportunities that any normal student on campus gets. And I think Deepak and Ms. Kaul have rigorously sort of put it there that Yorkville is going to go to any extent to fill any gap in your learning experience in those 4 years to make sure that you are fully equipped, trained, and skilled to compete in the workforce and get access to some of the best companies in Canada. So again, I'd like to thank the two of you. I think it has been an absolute pleasure. For all the attendees, I've put in the chat box my email address. So if there's any question you have, you can write to me. I serve as the head of school outreach for us. And the second point is, like Ina mentioned, I have also sort of put down a link to a YouTube video which genuinely shows you and will sort of compel you to, join us and study with us. It is a video of the robustness of the technology platform that we use and how well you're supported with mentors, with student success managers and coaching, and sort of accelerate your vocational prospects when you finally move to Canada. So please watch that video. And I'd like to thank all of you for your time, including Deepak and Miss Cole. It was lovely having you too.
Thank you so much, Praneeth. It was a pleasure coming and talking to all the students, and we look forward to many more webinars like these, especially when grade 12 results are around the corner. Absolutely. So thank you so much for the webinar.
Thanks, Praneeth. And thank you, the 21 of you still, with us. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye for now.